Well, good evening, everyone, and hello. Hope everyone is doing well in this hot, hot, hot weather. We are here in the DeSoto, Dallas, Texas area, and let me tell you once again, it is hot. Of course, I know I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, but just to reiterate, it is hot. I appreciate those of you who have been searching for me and looking for me and waiting for me to show up in this space to talk all about solar. I was expecting to have a guest on with me, and we are having some technical difficulties. However, my guest will still be with us. She will be a live caller. So you may see me put my phone to the microphone so that you can be able to hear whatever it is that we are going to be talking about. But just before we get started, again, I want to welcome you to all About Solar, the podcast. I am Robin Fafmi and I love solar energy. I love to talk about it. I love to educate homeowners and business owners about solar energy, how it can help to eliminate and or reduce your high electric bills that you are experiencing right now. I I love it. I never in a million years would have thought that I would be out here in the world talking about solar energy, selling solar energy, or even having a business where solar is my business. And it is just absolutely wonderful. I love it so much I could just cry. That's what it does to me. I can't really tell you why, other than it found me. And when your passion finds you, it just develops a relationship with you. You don't necessarily have to try to be good at it or be good at something that you may know absolutely nothing about. But when your passion finds you, it's a really, really beautiful thing. And that's what solar energy is about for me. It is a passion, it is a love, and it found me. And in that, it found me. I intend to serve my passion well. So, welcome once again. Come on in, take a seat at the table, and let's talk all about solar. Uh, I want you to take my phone number down, 214-497-7440. Give me a call while on air or any other time if you have questions about solar energy or you just want to know more about it. Um, right now, how do I say? I have been attracting attracting homeowners who have problems with their solar energy systems. These systems have been installed on their rooftops, and for whatever reason, they are not working. They are not producing energy. They are not helping to support their energy usage, lowering that energy bill. And when this happens, it is not fun at all, because when you make a purchase of this size, you expect it to work. And for some reason, those people who have problems are being guided to me. And I, so far, have been able to assist either in helping them to understand what the problem is and let's see what we need to do to get you up and running, or if maybe you still are under warranty, your system may still be under warranty, and we need to get to the right people to have them come out and fix it. So that's a part of what I do, is assist homeowners who already have solar and they have problems and they need help to fix it. In conjunction with, I sell solar panels. I am an actual dealer. So I can sit with you and go through your electric bill and help you understand how big of a system you need and get you going that way. But one thing that's really interesting that people don't tell you, sales reps don't tell you prior to your purchase. As I have mentioned before, I have solar panels on my home. And remember early in the spring, we had lots and lots and lots of rain. We had so much rain till, it was just questionable as to whether or not that rain was ever going to stop. And now we are in somewhat of a drought. It is triple digit weather, hot weather, and no rain in the forecast. If you have panels on your home, or if you notice panels on homes in your neighborhood, just glance up at those panels and you will see that they are very, very dusty, very dusty. The wind blows and it brings all kinds of pollen and other things with it. So the panels get dusty. And I say that to make you aware that you do have to either keep those panels rinsed off or you really need to wash them. How are you going to wash them? Maybe you'll hire somebody to do that for you. Or if you like me, you'll buy yourself. And I don't recommend that you do it yourself unless you are very confident. But you take like a pole that may be 50 feet or it could be a little bit longer. And you have to actually, like you're mopping your kitchen floor, you're going to mop those panels to get the dust off of them. And when the dust has been removed, your production should go back up. Because if the panels are extremely dusty, just like anything else, that could be limiting the amount of production that they are putting out. So just imagine you're driving a car, okay? Or maybe you're not driving a car, you have a car. It has been sitting up for months. It could be in the desert or not in the desert. If it's not garaged, and even if it is garaged, it will still be dusty. But just say that you have a car that is sitting out in the weather and you're not driving it at all. And one day you decide you're going to drive it. When you get in, you probably won't be able to see clearly out of the windshield because it is dusty. Same thing with the panels. They are glass, okay? When you look at them, they are glass on top. And they have to be kept free of the dust and debris. Birds will fly over and they will drop poop on your panels. And sometimes, it will eventually remove itself. Or if we get rain, the poop will go away, the dust will go away. But in these really dry seasons, and there is no water, then the dust, it just sits there and it will limit your production. So, what I want is maximum production from my panels, which means that I pay attention to them. And when I notice that they are extremely dusty, then I know that I've got a job to do. It's no different than cleaning up any portion of your home. These panels are an investment, and you need that investment to work over a long period of time. So, from that standpoint, we do whatever we need to do to keep them functioning properly. And knowing what to do, is what will help you maintain your panels in the highest working order. So, what is it that we say here? When you switch to solar, it will work if you work it. And my job is to help you understand how to. working. So I'm going to introduce my guest right now, and I am going to bring this phone up to the microphone so that you can hear her. This is a very special person to me, Gloria Johnson. She is in Vallejo, California, and you might wonder, why would I have a guest from California? I sell solar panels, okay? But I do not sell in California. I only sell panels in Texas. So we're going to allow her to tell us a little bit about why she's calling from Vallejo, California to talk to me, to talk to you, to talk to us about solar energy. Okay? Gloria Johnson. Miss Johnson, can you hear us?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can. So, would you be kind enough to tell us once again who you are, where you are, and why you have interest in sharing with us tonight about solar energy?
Okay, let's see if I can remember all of that in order. First of all, I'm very honored and privileged to be on. I apologize for the technology challenges, but just like with solar, challenges happen. It's not about the challenges, it's how we overcome the challenges. And my name is Gloria Johnson, and Robin Pepples-Bomby is my older sister. So
Yay!
distance never separates us. And I live in Vallejo, California for the past 37 years. And I actually got interested in solar because of visiting her in Texas and saw that she had solar, and asked a few questions. And I do mean only a few. And I got back home and started just kind of surfing around, asking some questions. And I'm normally the type of person that has, three people. That's the process. Don't do anything before you get those three people to come out. And so I actually got the first person. Uh, they were their information was good, but for some reason I felt like I wanted to own, and not that I really knew the difference between owning or leasing, but I felt like they were pressuring me to go in a way that I didn't want to go. So I was like, I really don't like that deal. So the next person that came by, African American uh, person, very knowledgeable, very energetic. Really liked their energy and their knowledge, and I literally just wanted to give that person the sale. And went through the process and everything. Now the person that actually gave me the sale, this young man that I'm talking about, he was upfront. He was legit with everything. But come to find out, once the panels were actually up on my house, because I was also told that you can back out up until the time that they're up on your house. When they're up on your house, then that's the deal is still. So got the panels, and then I started running into problems getting permission to operate. They said it can take anywhere 30 days, 60 days, and in extreme cases, maybe even 90 days. And so I'm at this 60-day mark. And now the owner that I was having conversations with is harder and harder and harder to get in contact with. And so I'm always deferred to the second in charge person. And I just felt like they were delaying me. Well, my sister is a solar logic, better me, better you, whatever you want to call her by. But let me tell you, when there are challenges in the family, she is the go-to person. I personally think she should have been a lawyer. She is definitely a people's advocate. I can say that without reservation. And so I called her and informed her as to what was going on. And she is very detailed and very thorough. Once we got this process going and making inquiries, I started feeling like I was working with Aaron Brockovich. If y'all remember that movie from back in the day. And I tell you, knowledge is powerful. And when you know your rights and you understand your rights and you are engaging in conversations regarding you having knowledge, then the conversation, the tone begins to change, the respect begins to change. And we went to battle, and it was back and forth. The situation kept getting escalated to the next in charge, the next in charge, and the next in charge. I mean, we ended up having to write letters to the board of the company the finance company who I helped along with. We wrote letters to the city of Vallejo. Like, we got people involved. When they say it is the squeakiest wheel that gets the greatest attention, it is. Now, was it time consuming? It did involve some time, but this was a pretty big investment that I was making, and I was not getting what I was paying for. And once Robin got on the case and we were asking the right questions and putting pressure on them, in the end, the I's got dotted, the T's got crossed, and they were happy. They were happy to oblige me to do anything that was necessary to make it right and get it on and get on. What really happened, the actual installer, he was just fraudulent. He basically was crook. He just basically was a crook. Now, the financing company, they were legit, and they did end up making things that he should have made right. They did make it right, and I got a small, like a couple of $1,000s that they ended up giving me, for my time and my stress and my energy. But in the long run, the PTO got done. The solar panels are up and running and producing. And I don't know if I would have been able to do it without her knowledge, without her energy, without her intensity, and just staying in the fight and staying in the process. So I live in sunny Northern California, and my house is south facing. I definitely get, I live in the middle of a cul-de-sac, and I get very good sun. And since when I first started, I was getting like this true up deal. I didn't really understand that. So she explained that to me. But as the sun has been coming out, that mine was a rollover situation. My payment plan is a rollover situation. So for the last couple of months, I have not paid anything because I've been producing enough energy. Now, what she talked to you guys about today as far as cleaning my panels, yes, they need to be cleaned.
Yep, and clean. That is something you can do yourself. I'm kind of smiling on the inside as I listen to you recap the situation, because there were some moments during the process that I was really hot. I mean, it's like people don't understand that it takes a lot to go toe to toe with these industry people and with people in business. And the people who are the gatekeepers, those are the customer service people. When you call with a problem, you go straight to customer service, and then they attempt to help you as best they can. But when you realize that they cannot solve the problem and they are almost refusing to send you up the ladder, you have to figure out how to go around them. So one of the things that we did, we just wrote everybody. But the key is that we never let one person know that we sent it to the other person. So we may have sent letters to I think I lost her. We may have sent letters to 10 or 15 people, but they did not know that the other person got it, which was good for us because, we were getting information from various sources, and the right hand didn't know what the left hand knew, but we knew what everybody knew. So,
Yes.
and it took us 18 months to solve the problem. 18 months. They expect for you to get tired and to just not, stay in the fight. But she was able to get her, well, let me go back here. So the contractor, he abandoned the project. Okay, he just went away. And in the beginning, initially, he was talking with the finance company and with us. It was like a group conversation. But at one point, he just tapped out and like, I don't have anything to do for any of you all. And he just left the whole process. But we found out things that we would not have known had we not been engaged in this process. Like, you have to be careful with the finance companies because they don't require any proof that the job is done and that it's done correctly. What the contractor does is he does the job, he installs the solar system, and then he applies for his payment. They don't check, they don't do a whole lot of follow-up. They just pay these people. And that's another reason why the industry has been so flooded with solar companies popping up every other day. You've got 10 to 15 new ones because once they get, yes.
I just wanted to say this. She said something that just triggered something. One of the biggest problems with me, I thought, was getting connected to PTO. But one day, and her being very hot, and we were just really looking over the paperwork, I was contracted to have 18 panels on my home, and we went out. She had me go out and count, and I kept counting. Like, am I counting right? Am I counting wrong? I literally only had 17 panels installed, but it's very clear that my paperwork says 18 panels were to be installed.
And that's another thing. You as the consumer, as the homeowner, you have a right to know and understand every aspect of the process, because once you sit at the table and we help you understand solar, how it's going to help you, how big your system needs to be. If I tell you that you need 54 panels, then when that installation is complete, you need to count to make sure you got 54 panels on your house. That's what I did. Another thing, the installer will tell you, you won't have anything to worry about. Once you sign your contract, we do everything for you. But what is everything? We don't know what everything is. They are supposed to pull the permit. They're supposed to get with your HOA and make sure that they have permission to put the panels on your home and things like that. But when they come to your home, before they start, ask to see the permit from the city that you live in, to be sure that they have that. Also, ask to see the paperwork from the HOA. They should have everything right there for you to see. And I'm going to tell you another thing. The solar industry itself is not a regulated industry. Anybody can open up a company and be in business in the solar industry. But whoever installs that system on your home, they have to be licensed. They have to be a licensed electrician. So the installers work under the license of a master electrician. So when the company sends their people to do the installing, ask, who's the electrician? Okay, can I see your license? Because if you don't know who's installing. You don't know what kind of experience he has. This could be his very first job. He could be a very good electrician, a very good electrician, but has he ever installed solar panels? Maybe he hasn't. Doesn't mean that he doesn't know how, doesn't mean that he won't do a good job, but it just means that this is his first job. And you know sometimes how that can go. So these are just things that we want to make you aware of. My whole mission is to educate homeowners and businesses, to empower you so that when you make the decision to switch to solar, that you can do that confidently, knowing and fully understanding. I just talked with someone today, and I'm just not sure that they really have enough of what they need to make this work properly. But the only good thing about it is they possibly still have enough warranty that we can fight a fight. Now, my sister will tell you I love a good fight, but I'm kind of tired of fighting. I just want to have fun. What you say, Dino?
It's time.
Oh wow.
It's time consuming. And that's the one thing that they're hoping that you don't have is the time to fight the battle, to wear you down, and then you're just left drained and left with it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like she said, you can't all be about fighting all the time. So I feel like that's why Better Use Solar Logic. This is why it exists. Some of the mistakes that we made can now be your benefit.
Yes.
I know some things. Now, another thing I was adamant about the cosmetics. As far as it goes, I didn't want all that piping or whatever showing up on my house. Now, that was the one thing that I was adamant about. And when the installers came to do it, I said, oh, no. That's not going to work. So he had to call the head guys and say, she is not agreeing to this. So then they had to come in my house, go in my attic. Even though I had told them that, they were ready to come up there and put something on that I had not agreed to.
Right.
Please be at home when they do the installation.
Yes.
They'll tell you you don't have to be at home when they're doing the installation.
Yes, be at home. And the piping that she's talking about, while you're out driving, if you just, look up at the rooftops that have solar, sometimes you will see this silver piping on top, and it looks like it is connecting the panels. And that's what it is, piping. And so that it won't be seen, they have to do what they call an attic run. They run it through the attic instead of running it on top of your roof. And that really is not attractive. It's already a situation where a lot of people don't like the way that panels look as they sit on your home. But I personally also don't like that piping. So I think that kind of takes away from the appeal. The panels by themselves, okay, we can live with that, but the piping, that's another thing. That's like having a skirt on with the hem hanging. Most of y'all probably don't know what hem is. Oh, okay. All right. So anything else, sister?
I just want to say when I think back on the whole experience, and I'm very grateful that my experience ended in a positive way. I didn't really enjoy every ounce of the fight, but once I was in the fight, I was in the fight. And the fact that the things that I could have done better, now that it's able to perhaps benefit somebody else, to me that's part of one of the best ends of the deal, that if somebody else goes through and they're going through, can prevent the next person from going through. Just those little things that make a big difference. So Robin was great for me, and hey, a workman is worthy of their hire, and that's all I can say. A workman is worthy of their hire. I appreciated her. It wasn't just because she was my sister and we gonna get all this done for free. I pay people who do other stuff, and just because she was my sister, even more so, because I felt like she really had my best interest at heart, she got to get something out of this too. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
And thank you. So, all righty, keep listening, and I'm gonna hang up now.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Okay, everybody. So I hope that that was interesting to you. One of the things that maybe we did kind of talk about is everything in life. I don't care what it is. You can ask me anything and I can relate it. But everything has its own story. Every life has a story. Everything is a story that connects to another story. And when you are able to connect the dots and make it all make sense, then it will work for you no matter what it is. And I'm saying that because in a situation like she was in, most people would think, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? How am I going to get these companies, bigger fish than me, to agree to do things decently and in order? Well, the one thing that you can do is keep up with your paperwork, understand the logic of the thing. How is it supposed to function? How is it supposed to act? So, if you think about it like a movie, we had the characters. She was a main character. The contractor was a main character. The finance company was a third party. Most of the time they get in and they get out. They just make the deal happen and they are usually out of the way. And then the electric company is a main player as well. So I'm going to bring this all back together. But if you were here last Thursday, at the end of the show, we had a caller who asked a question about, why do you have to be connected to the electric company if you are off the grid? So that's another character. And I thought about that. I believe I answered the question fully, but I thought about it over the next week enough that I believe I need to come back in and kind of clarify it a little bit more. So if you are in the city, okay, you are in the city, in all of these neighborhoods and communities that we live in, if you decide that you want to add solar panels to your roof, okay, the main reason that you have to be connected to the grid is because you have to have permission to operate. You cannot put the panels on your rooftop and then just turn them on and go. It doesn't work like that. You have to be connected to the grid and you have to have permission to operate. When you're talking to sales reps, they'll refer to it as PTO, but PTO means permission to operate. In order to have permission to operate, that means that the electricity division, the electric company, the division within that company that is going to deliver the energy to your home, like where we live here in the Dallas area, it's Encore. Encore delivers our energy. So Encore will come out and either put a new smart meter on our home, or if we already have a smart meter, they will set that meter so that it will run backwards. And the reason that it runs backwards is because as you are producing energy and using energy, at the end of the month, if you've done everything properly, you're going to have more energy than you need. So that overproduction, that extra energy has to go back to the grid, and that meter will run backwards. And that's how they calculate how many kilowatts that you are sending back to the grid. So for the question that we had last week about why is it that you would have to be connected to an electric company if you have solar and you want to be off the grid? You really cannot be off the grid in the city, because the panels, when they're on your roof, you have to have permission to operate them. And in order to have permission to operate them, you have to be connected to a meter that is connected to the grid that will read the energy that you are sending back to know how to pay you for that energy. You know, we've talked about the solar buyback programs and things of that nature. So that's how we know that. Okay. Now, if you are in a rural area, out in the country somewhere, perhaps someplace where there are no meters out there per se. Sometimes you can be on land and you don't have to be connected to the grid. But if you're not connected, you're going to have solar panels on your rooftop, and you're also probably going to, not probably, you will have to have a battery. So all of that excess, excuse me, all of that excess energy that would have been going back to the grid now goes into your battery. So when the sun goes down at night, you're able to still use the energy that's stored in your battery. So I wanted to clarify that, and I hope that you're listening and that makes a little bit more sense. The reason why you cannot be off the grid in the city is because you have to have permission to operate, but in rural areas, you can make it work. So back to all of these characters. Now, in my sister's case, once the contractor abandoned the job and he just wasn't going to play anymore, we did contact the state licensing board, and we do know that his license were revoked, but he probably just went someplace else and opened up another solar company in another name. But needless to say, he realized that, you know, he was dealing with um, formidable adversaries. You know, we were not to be played with. And I don't say this bragging or anything like that. What I mean is that when you understand how things work, then you understand how to infiltrate their system to get attention. And that's what we needed, was attention. So now there's nobody left except the finance company. So we were able to kind of confront them. Well, why did you pay for 18 panels and I only have 17 panels on my house? And then they had to eventually tell us that we don't require any proof of work, any proof of completion before we actually pay. So these are things that we would not have known had we not been involved in this activity. But as the hole got deeper and deeper for them, it got better and better for us, because I understood that, you know, they're not going to admit to anything, but what we need to do is create a paper trail, get them to admit to some things. And that's why it became very necessary to let as many people as we could know exactly what was going on, because this is a story that is building. You know, you watch a movie, it comes on, it starts slow, it introduces the characters, then it tells what happened. What happened to her is he abandoned the job. Now that the job is abandoned, how are we going to fix the problem so that she gets what she paid for? And the only character that was left, who is usually not involved, is the finance company. And at one point, after we complained to the Better Business Bureau, and they had to answer that complaint, which meant now that we're creating a paper trail, they answer, we answer. We ask another question, they answer. So we're creating a story. We're building on this story. And in that process, it really worked in our favor because at one point she realized that, well, why am I still paying them if they're not helping me with a problem that they really helped to create? So she asked to have her payments stopped until we finished this, and they agreed. Then, because the contractor is the one who will usually provide you with an installation warranty, which means that they have drilled holes in your roof to install these panels. And sometimes, you may have leaks or things like that. But if that were to happen, you have a warranty with the installer for that. But in her case, the installer is nowhere around. What do we do? The finance company stepped in and they contracted another company to come out, verify her system, do everything that they needed to do to get it up and running, up to par. She got PTO, and then, like she said, they even paid her or reimbursed her some funds for the trouble. And it was good though. They reimbursed her for that. But like she said, we would not have won if we had not been willing to go the distance. Okay? That's the deal. When something happens to you and it is not right, then you have to be willing to do what is necessary to make it right for you. And that's what I mean by every life has a story, everything has a story, and every day you are a character in a story. And I am the main character in Better Me, Better You, Solar Energy, Sales, and Project Management because I am the character who is going to show up and make sure that you get exactly what it is that you need, what it is that you expect, and I will be here for the long haul. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can, or comments, go ahead and type them in. If you have enjoyed the information that we have shared, let us know that. Again, you can reach me at 214-497-7440. We're here every Thursday, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. We are also audible only on Spotify and who else? And iHeartRadio. And you can also go to Be Humble, Stay Humble TV network, and you can find us over there as well. So, somebody say something to me. Oh, okay. So, if there are no questions, I am going to sign off a little bit early today. I don't know if I'm early or not. I'm at 45 minutes. That's good. We had a hard time getting started today, so we spent almost 30 minutes with technical difficulties. So I have been sitting here for a while, but I want you to know that I am so happy and I am so grateful to have the opportunity to look into this camera and to sit with you in your home and have this conversation. Yes, I am here talking about solar energy, which is my passion. My passion found me, but I want you to hear me. And I really hope that you can hear a little bit more than the solar because I tell you, some of you are chasing dreams. Some of you are wondering if life is worth it. Some of you are thinking maybe I just need to sit down and get out of the way, but that's not the truth. What you need to do is just take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And do it again and again. Say your prayers, ask for what you want, be willing to give even more, and just allow your passion and your gifts to come through. Now, I said my passion found me. I really believe that. Solar is my passion. I get to talk about that. But I know also that my purpose is simply to exude joy and happiness wherever I am. So I am always doing that. Doesn't matter one way or the other. So in this moment, I bid you peace. I wish you well. And I want you to really take to heart that it's all good because it doesn't matter how hard you think about anything, how you overanalyze things, and they just still don't seem to work out. You got to just be happy and don't worry. You know that song, go back and listen to it. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. I am Robin Fafmi with Better Me, Better You, Solar Energy Sales and Project Management. Reach me at 214-497-7440. I hope that I have shared something that has been of interest and that maybe has helped someone elevate their story to the next level because you certainly helped me make mine better. Thank you.